Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel.
I was hanging with you and then I realized I didn't think it was true.
So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a story time. I know I said I was going to do this in this last video, so that's what I'm going to do today. So for those of you who didn't watch my last video, I'm going to be sharing the story of my overdose, but it wasn't an overdose. Yeah, don't do drugs, kids. That's not cool. Yeah, that may have confused you a little bit, so I'm gonna keep confusing you and start off with my day and how I did this. So a little background information: my family has a long line of migraines. Yeah, so that pretty much has to do with our story. So basically this was like any other day. I went to school, I went to flag practice, and I was supposed to go volunteer after flag. So one of my teammates' sister, she was going to go volunteer with me, so she offered to pick me up after practice and stuff, and just we could go over there together. During like practice and stuff, I started getting a really bad headache, and it was just like, I've had headaches before, but this one just like felt different, and like half of my face, like I think it was like this side of my face, it started going numb in like random spots. So like first my lips started going numb, and then like my eyelids started going numb, and it was the weirdest thing because that's never happened to me before. So she picks us up and I have a headache, and I'm like, hey, do you have any like ibuprofen or like painkillers or anything? She gives me some Advil. I take that, and my headache doesn't really subside, so I'm just like, okay, maybe it'll pass later. So we get in her car, we head over to the school, and the second I got out at the school, I started feeling a little weird, and I didn't know what was going on. So yeah, we walk into the school, and the entire time we're like talking and stuff, and like I'm like completely like I'm able to like function and stuff. So we get into the school, and the administrators are like giving us instructions on like what we're supposed to be doing for like volunteering and stuff. And then one of my friends starts to talk to me, and I can't really comprehend what he's saying. All I see is his mouth moving, and he's like asking me questions and stuff. And I remember him asking me if I was alright. I told him yes, but I wasn't alright. I continue moving, and literally 2 minutes later, I'm having a hard time breathing, and like I'm not able to like function. So I walk out of the cafeteria of that school, and I'm walking down the hallway to go outside, and one of the teachers calls me, and they're like talking to me, and like I don't understand what they're saying. Like I'm just looking at them, and like they're just like talking, and like it's just like random words like that they're saying, and I just can't understand them. So I started like freaking out a little bit. So I finally get outside, and I call my mom, and I start flipping out. Like I'm like in tears already, and I'm like, Mom, like you need to come get me. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm saying. Like I don't know what's going on. I can't do anything. I don't know I'm just like rambling at this point. So I can kind of hear her getting like frantic on the phone, and she's like, okay, just like stay there. I'm gonna be there super fast. Like she's just like, she's scared too. One of my friends, they pull up in their car outside of the school where I'm at, and they like come up to me, and they like start asking me questions and stuff, and I just like, I'm laughing, but like I'm crying at the same time. Like this is like, it was so weird. Like I don't even know, I think she thought that I was crazy or something. So she's like talking to me and stuff, asking me if I'm okay, and I'm like I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And like I was like crying when I was saying this, but like also laughing, so it didn't like look like I was like being dramatic or anything. So like I was like in tears, but like also like laughing, like yeah, I don't know what's going on, like like yeah, that. So yeah, we sit down on the bench and stuff, and I get out my phone to like start texting my mom because it's like getting worse, and I don't know what's going on. So I start texting, and I'm like texting random words that don't form sentences, and it's so weird. And like I'm like looking at this, and I'm like, this isn't right. And I like show my phone to my friend, and I'm like, hey, can you understand this? Like, is this a sentence? And she looked at me, and she's like, no. And I was like, and I started crying even more. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like I don't know. it was crazy. I get into my mom's car and we pull out of the school, and right next to the school is a Target. So we're pulling out of the school and the traffic is literally like bumper to bumper. This traffic was so bad. So I get into the car and we're like pulling out, and like I just like stare out the window, like the front window, like I just like look. So my mom's like sitting here, like she's asking like, what's wrong, and I was like, I don't know. So she calls my dad, and my dad starts yelling at me like, oh my god, what's wrong, and like he starts getting like frustrated and stuff, and I'm like, that's when I start like flipping out and stuff. I'm like, I don't know, like stop asking me this, I don't know what's wrong. And like they just like keep like yelling in my ear, and like all of a sudden like I stop and like I like bolt out of the car because I start vomiting. Sorry if it's like nasty to you, but like I like have my hand like on there, and like I'm going to open the door, but like I'm like vomiting, so like I kind of vomited on my mom's door. Sorry to your car, mom, my bad. I jump out of the car and like run into like a grassy area in like the Target parking lot, and I'm just like standing there like hyperventilating, like I don't know what's going on. And so my mom's like already crying and stuff, like she doesn't know what's going on with me, I don't know what's going on with me. So she calls the ambulance, and the ambulance come and pick us up at the Target thing. So I'm sitting in the car just like crying, bawling my eyes out, and like I don't know what's going on. Like I know I've said that like 100 times, but like I did not know anything. The ambulance get there and they come and like question me in the car, check my eyes and stuff, ask me if I'm on drugs, ask me if I'm pregnant, ask me if I overdosed on like any pills or anything, ask me if I smoked. They just like started asking me all these random questions, and like I don't do drugs, I don't drink, I don't really do any of that stuff. So like that's like the one thing I didn't forget. Like I was like, no, I didn't take drugs, no. So they keep asking me, and they're looking at me like I'm crazy. So they get like me on like one of those beds, I don't know what they're called, but like the pop-up ones that they can like roll around. I don't know, like a hospital bed, but like the ones that they put in the ambulance. Yeah. So they put me on one of those and they bring me into the ambulance. And I'm in the ambulance, and like I'm just like, I'm still don't know what's going on. They're asking me my name, they're asking me my date of birth, and I don't know anything. I didn't even know my own name, guys. Like that's how wild it was. So they get me to the hospital, and they're still asking me if like I took any drugs, if I'm pregnant, if I'm positive. I'm like, yeah, I'm positive. I'm not pregnant, trust me, I'm not pregnant. So they get me into the hospital room, and this cop comes into there, and I don't know what's going on, don't even know my own name, and this man, he comes up to me and he's like asking me like, so what are you on? And I'm like, I didn't take anything. And he's like, you didn't take anything? And I was like, well, I had a headache earlier, so I took some meds. And he was like, what meds did you take? And I was like, I don't know, like it was some type of painkiller. And I was like trying to like figure out the name. So I was like I'm just like spouting out like words, and he was like, what? And I was like, he didn't like say it like that long. I'm like, it was a painkiller that started with an A, because remember I said I took Advil. So he was like, Adderall? And I was like, oh yeah, that sounds familiar. I take Adderall daily because I have like ADD and stuff, so it helps me concentrate in school. But I take, mine's prescribed by a doctor. I have like, it's a prescribed medicine towards me. Don't take this medicine if it's not prescribed to you, because it's not safe. Yeah, just want to say that. So since I do take it every day, when he was asking me if it was Adderall, I already had Adderall in my mind because I take it daily. So I said yes because it sounded familiar to me. So he's asking me, so like, you took Adderall? And I was like, I think that's what it's called, yeah. He's like, okay. And he walked out of the room, and keep in mind, my mother wasn't there yet, and I am under the age of 18, so he gets done questioning me, walks out of the room, my mom comes in, and like she's like, oh my god, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, the police was just in here. She talks to the doctors and stuff, and someone comes in to like give me an x-ray, or like bring me to the MRI, whatever you want to call it. So they bring me there, and I come back, they take some blood, do all that crap, and I didn't overdose. Surprise, didn't overdose. What did I say? Didn't know my own name, but I knew I didn't overdose. I come back into the room, I was crying, and I'm like, oh my god, do I have like cancer or something? And I was like, she was like, no, and I was like, then why are you crying? Is it something bad? She's like, no, I'm your mother, I'm supposed to cry in these situations. And I was like, but you're crying, that means it's bad. And she was like, no, nothing's wrong, and like it's not bad. And I was like, okay. So they get me into my bed, they hook me up to an IV, they put like all these like sticky things on me, they hook me into some wires to like monitor my things. Yeah, they get me hooked up some IVs, and they start like pumping some medicine into me to try and like help my pain, because I still have a horrible headache, and I like can't even lift my head from the bed because it hurts so bad. It's like a pressure on top of my head. The pain was so bad, I can like remember it, like I remember it so much. I fall asleep for a few hours, and my mom calls my best friend, so she pulls up to the hospital, and she's like just there with me. And so they can't come in and talk to us, and yeah, I had a migraine. I had a migraine, and I lost my memory, and I thought I overdosed. Oh my god. Sorry, it looks like I'm flicking you off, but I'm not. I like jammed my finger at flag yesterday. I don't know if you can see, but it's like bruised. It hurts so bad. So I had a migraine, and I didn't overdose. The police officer went to my friend's house and started an overdose case without getting my test results back. Also, he took information from a girl who couldn't even remember her own name. What possible logic? How does that make sense? You're gonna go and start an overdose case when you question a girl who was out of her mind, didn't even remember her own name, and you didn't even talk to her mother? How unprofessional. So yeah, he went to my friend's house and he questioned them and stuff, and thought they were like some drug dealer and stuff, and I felt so bad for them. I was like, oh my god, guys, I'm so sorry. Like, I felt so bad. Oh my god, you guys have no idea. So everyone at school thinks I am a pill popper. I'm not a pill popper, I promise. Back to present. Guess who works at my school now? The officer who started an overdose case on me and thinks that I'm a pill popper. So guess who stares at me in the halls every day thinking I'm crazy? The officer. Yeah, and that's the tea. So that's my story time. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. You know, everyone at school thinks I overdosed, but I didn't overdose because I'm a responsible citizen. I don't do drugs ever, because it's hashtag bad for you, really bad. I mean, if you do drugs, no shade to you. I'm throwing a little shade, but you do you. As long as you're being safe, all that matters. But if you're my friend and you do drugs, I'm not really gonna say the same for you, because I care about you and I don't want you to die or get arrested. So yeah. Alright guys, so that was my story time. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I know it was a little wild and probably not what you guys were expecting at all, because I mean, I'm like basically your Halo child. I could literally be the poster child for good deeds, because I am that innocent. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you have any video requests, definitely comment those down below, because your girl is very not creative. I don't want to be like that cliche person who's like, smoothie challenge, you know what I mean? So yeah, I love you guys a lot, and I will try and think of another video for you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.